Hello, my Pimlico players here on a Sunday here at Old Hilltop. Again, with Keith Fustel. Nothing too crazy happened yesterday. J. Ron Barbosa, 3 wins yesterday, having a good day.
Yeah, he stopped out and saw us and brought him a little bit of good luck, huh? Maybe we're his good luck charm. But yeah, a couple good rides from him. Couldn't come up with any real huge prices. We did catch
Right.
that early pick four, $15 got you back like 50 and change. So we'll take that and
Yeah.
we move on. Unfortunately, again, we were off the turf. The rain has stayed around. We talked about that, but the projected forecast looking a little bit further into next week looks pretty good. So let's
It
hope
does.
that's holds sway. But yeah, ready for this Sunday card.
Let's dig into it. Let's start things off in this first race, kicking off that early pick five in this maiden special weight, originally on the turf, now 5 furlongs on the dirt, scratching the 3 active, the 4 Lorraine, and the number 8 Tequila Terra. You, Keith, and I both have the number 6 on top. Designer for Phil Capuano gets Carlos Lopez. This one by Outwork should handle the wet dirt okay.
Well, wanted the main track and got the main track. There was a lot of different angles. I was really hoping this race stayed on the turf, and some of these angles, a lot of horses bred to win early in here. Designer being one of them for Phil Capuano by Outwork. Stallion, which hits with 16% of the first-time starters. Very strong there. You had a mare on the bottom side, flipped the switch. A lot of gate speed out of her. Her cousin Joan used to train that one early in its career. I think Trombetta as well. This is kin to a first-time starter. I think we'll be ready to go. Some forward works at Laurel for debut. A half-brother, Bucktooth, ran a 59, I believe, in debut over the main track. So you've got the 6, you've got the 7. I'll let you talk about Princess Street. I've got some angles, I'm sure you do, on this one. Some stats?
Some stats.
Yes.
So I have the 2 main takeaways with my stats is that Demetrios, as of lately, his last 6 first-time starters, 5 of them have been winners,
Yeah.
1 second. Tyler Connor, 31% on the dirt when they team up together.
There you go. And the mare won debut in the slop on an off track at Belmont. You look at the family. There's Gamine in there, right? The second dam related to Gamine, the champion sprinter. So there's lots to like there. Now, out of all those horses, none of them run particularly fast, but they bring this one down. This might be one of the better ones of the bunch. This Daughter of Street Sense, 6-7-2-1 Divine Magic, proven speed. We know we've got that. Had to battle over Timonium, a little bit of a fade late, and the one Brigitte of Kildare for Mary Epler. None of that hard hitting mare. Hug a Tree was
Yeah.
a pretty game kind of horse. Sprinting. Turf dirt, I think won maybe its first 2 over the main track. I know won the
Correct, on
debut.
and off track
yeah,
as well.
yeah. So
Yep.
there's an angle there for Brigitte of Kildare.
There we have it, 6-7-2-1 for Keith Fusel there in that first race that does kick off that early pick 5. And let's go on to the early pick 4 that does get kicked off in the second race. Keith, how does your another $15 ticket. There we go.
There you go. We just got to keep an eye. We'll go. I think we might end the week with a slight profit, even if we miss. But here we're not going to try to miss. We want to hit this thing. 6-7-11 to get you started in race 2. A slew of scratches. We'll go over them off the turf in race 2. Race 3, we spread. These are the 2-year-olds. The fillies. I thought this was a real scramble. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Race 4 with the 1 and the 2. Crabs and Beer, Giardani. And race 5, we're going to go ahead and single take a shot. Al Loves Josie. I know Baracho. Well, it's a 3-horse field. Obviously, they all look like they're legitimate. Have a shot. Baracho really has that speed. But let's see if Al Loves Josie can come right back off of that good score, Timonium, and get it done for a $15 ticket.
There we have it. And it does start in this starter optional 20,000 for the 3-year-olds and up. Originally 5 on the turf, now on the dirt. So scratching the 2 Lad Needs a Handler, the 3 Deep Cover, the 4 Valiant Vinny, the 5 Toe Bear, the 8 So Street, the 9 Bourbon Currency, and the 10 Casanova Kitten. You land on the number 6 Zeramid for Kieran McGee. I do as well. Horacio Caramanos. This one walking out of the stall. Kieran had a nice win. Pogi Bonsi yesterday.
Very similar. Poggi Bonsi, they're quick. They're quick early.
Yep.
They keep going. Poggi Bonsi I might have a little bit more faith in. I really liked her. I still can't believe she got off at 9-5. I'm like short prices, but that was okay, I thought, for her. It looked really tough coming back off the race at Timonium with some of those other previous tries, but hence we go on. Zeramid, proven speed, really quick. I think he can go ahead and clear. That last 16th might be a little bit of a test for him over the main track. He's got some back races on and off track that work. I think Fizbo is going to be just kind of sitting there, maybe trying to look and hound and pounce through the stretch with Forest Boys. And 10X, I threw this one in. Has a good race over and off track. A couple turf tries recently, not so great, but enough of a move off of it that might and get it done. Pyron's going to take plenty of play. You've got this one picked second. Just to me looks like a claim off of a negative drop to me. So I'm going to try to be power on who's going to take a lot of money.
You're not wrong there, but I'm just keying back to that second race on a muddy. I'm just going in for that wet dirt angle, and this one, Candy Ride bred for it. So there we have it. Keith still goes 7-6, 7, 11, 1 there at the start of the early pick 4. Let's go to that second leg in race number 3 in this maiden special weight. 6 furlongs on the dirt as intended for these 2-year-old fillies. Scratching the number 7, Hateful. You and I both have Feiner's Filet for Brittany Russell, Javian Toledo. Coming in from the rail, a good first showing over at Timonium, going a half mile.
Got some good, tighten the screws at the Big T. Was sent up early and battled, every step of the way to the outside of a horse for Jerry Brooks that had that experience. Had a race at 5/8 at Presque Isle, had the bottom, showed speed, ran a good race at Presque Isle, came back to get it done. But I like the way Feiner's Filets just kept going even through the gallop out. Stayed attentive, so I think this filly with that race under her belt is going to go on or near the lead here. By Preservation is a horse that's come out of the gates okay with these for the first crop. So I like that angle. Javian Toledo from the rail, just break clean. And I think we're going to be tough from on or just off the pace.
Let's take a look at your second in command in Peach Tea, and we're going to take a look back at that start. Fergal Lynch takes the call this time. Randy Allen, but this is the first time start.
Yeah, and if anybody's going to kind of maybe make that run from 4 or 5 out of it, it looks like it could be Peach Tea. A good effort into a lone speed type here, finishing up quite well. You saw a little bit green coming about mid-stretch, but straightened away and finished well. And then a good race right back on the turf. So I think showing those signs of a sustained kind of a closer is going to work in here because you got these horses kind of stretching out a little bit, chasing the 6 furlongs. I know you got the 2 horse turning back, but this one I think is going to bring a very good finish. So things develop up front like the chances of the 6 Peach Tea. Talk about a firster real quick for the Frocks, the 4 horse. Go Sherry Go by Golden Lad out of a mare that has had 4 winning foals. This one's a half to Uncle Irish. And 2 first out winners. So there's a lot to like from the breeding standpoint to win early for this Frock training. Go Sherry Go.
And there we go. Frocks over at Old Hilltop. You can't deny that, as Keith used to go as 1-6-3-4 in race number 3. Race number 4 is a restricted allowance, originally a 1 1/8 on the turf, now on the dirt, of course, for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 4, Goodnight Nile, the 6 Mint Game, the 8 Sorolla, the 10 Beyond the Pale, and the 11 My Boy Patty. You and I both have Crabs and Beer. Let's go ahead and take a look at that finish under Kerry Bryan and Sheldon Russell.
Yeah, this is going back to the final on August the 19th. I know we're going dirt today, but it showed a lot of heart, a lot of character here. Having to deal with getting carried out 6 wide early on. You're going to see this and pick this up. Gets a little bit of trouble into around that first turn. But Crabs and Beer recovers right there. Just kind of gets floated out, has to drop back in. Makes a good run up to it and challenges late. Gets beat by the veteran and multiple stakes type Field Pass.
Yes.
Now, Crabs and Beer, looking at his dirt form, I'm hoping the moisture stays in.
Yep.
This racetrack we're going to see, because the best race was over a muddy surface in Delaware going back to October of 22. But here's this finish here. Let's watch this out. I tell you, this is a good run. Field Pass, just maybe a touch more class late. But, man, good effort here from Crabs and Beer.
I mean, just a gutsy horse throughout. I mean, you can't – with Crabs and – when it comes with Crabs and Beer, this horse is always going to be showing up. Field Pass, I think, came to Maryland at the right time on kind of, as you mentioned, kind of just looking for that resurgence in his campaign that he very much needed. So Crabs and Beer had a little bit more navigating to do. Field Pass had that outside trip, made things a little bit easier for him. So a hard-knocking horse, Crabs and Beer.
Looks like Kerry Bryan's got this one back on his game. You're going to get Sheldon Russell as the rider for Crabs and Beer, but I need that moisture stay in the track. I'm going to be a little bit worried if things dry out a little bit more. Jardani is a horse that just kind of lags back, gives you a little bit of a heart attack, right? Lags back, but then suddenly just picks it up, a grinding type. His run's going to work into this because he's going to have a target. What does it take is pretty quick. Even Riccio might bring some speed to the table today in today's 4th race. But there you go. Jardani, Crabs and Beer, an Old Nest trainee. But what does it take? I got away with it at Charlestown last time. We'll see, because it looked like a winner here going back to last meet. Callie opened up and just couldn't hold on. But definitely the road, I believe, is going to go through this 7 horse.
I agree as well. As we go on to race number 5, as Keith Fustel goes 1-2-9-7 here in race number 4. Race number 5 starts at that Rainbow Pick 6, and we have a touch of a carryover, 5,454 climbing. Going to be climbing by the time we get to race race number 5. And this also starts my ticket 2 deep here, 3 and 4, race number 6 there in the maiden 20 after the Shaladin. I go 2, 7, 9, this 2 being my top selection in Storm and Chrome. The 7th race of claiming 16 single on Judy's Army for Kieran McGee.
Wow.
This is an Army mule who's 25% on a wet dirt, so I'm just having that back it up. I've got a little bit of faith in Kieran McGee, especially with a couple of his entries today so far. Race number 8, Sensible Lady Turf Dash, now on an off track, but 3, 5, 7, why not? Race number 9, 2 and 5. We'll get to Be Better, but I also include Zabracadabra as my top selection. And 1, 6, 7 to wrap everything up, a $21.60 ticket, and it does begin here in the Shaladin. Go 6 furlongs on the dirt. 3-year-olds and up scratch the 2 Pirate Rick who won yesterday, and the number 5 Only God Can Judge Me. Keith, you have the number 3 on top. Al Loves Josie. Let's go ahead and take a look back at this trainee with Jerry Robb and Xavier Perez.
We're going to go back a ways, right? We're going to go back to February. Is that the race that I pulled up out of here?
It is.
And this is the race in which, if I'm not mistaken, right, Baracho was in there. The comment Baracho got hounded pretty good. But look at Al Loves Josie. I mean, he's into it. He's 90 cents to the dollar that day. He might be a little bit higher price than Baracho today. We'll see. They could be. They're going to be really close. But this effort, the way that he rated this particular day, and it showed that in between, and just kicks away, really sharp. 91 buyer out of that. Recent numbers haven't quite gotten to that, but he's paired up 83s. A good rating job by the X-Man at Timonium. This got with this one to relax a little bit, shot through inside to get the lead and then take it home from there. I think you can just go ahead and prompt and go on with it again.
And that's what this horse needs. This horse is this gelding. He's a chestnut gelding. He's a little bit of a worry wart. So for Xavier to do that, especially that last race, great indicator of what's to come for today.
I like it. I think he can definitely move up a little bit off of that race. We know Baracho is just super, super fast. Galloped with a big number, 92. Can he pair that up? That's going to be the question mark for me. He can't miss a beat from down inside, from breaking inside these other 2 horses. So there you go. And Swill. Swill's a horse on the comeback trail.
Yep.
Put it all together at Colonial. This is going to be the real tester here. He's only got to face 2 others. He's going to be positioned just, I think, a length or 2 off the speeds. I don't know if he wants to quite go with a Baracho, but he's going to be positioned to make that run. If he's going to get a chance to kind of move up and take that next step, it's going to be today.
Small but mighty field here in the Shaladin here. Let's carry on to race after this commercial break. We'll carry on and start with race number 6. As promised, we're back here for race number 6, a maiden claiming 20,000, a mile and 16th, now in the dirt as it originally was on the turf, scratching the 1, 3, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. You have the number 7 on top, Divining Stone. You also have a nice little stat on Mario Lopez, John Haraba.
Yeah, shorter field here, unfortunately, in race 6 off the turf at a mile and a 16th. And Mario Lopez, I've never used the stat for him, but we're going to get one today. Last 3 years, 4 for 19, 21%, 6 for 19 in the money, with maidens first after the trainer switch. Say that again, trainer switch.
Say it 5 times fast.
I'm not going to try. ROI 366, tongue-tied there. But there you go. And Divining Stone is going to come up off of that race at Churchill Downs and didn't run pretty bad. Didn't run too bad. Was battling, made that move, tested inside of horses, a little bit of a fade late, but 2 horses came out of that race to win. I like the positioning. I think Storm and Chrome might be just a touch faster early. So get that kind of stalking trip and move into it, hopefully take it from there, because I do believe Martini Martin, this 5-horse, main track only for Mancia, is still in here, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Talk about him.
I'm surprised you didn't have him on the board there, but I think he's going to take a lot of play. But, I think this one is going to be the main threat from off the pace to get it done. You can just toss the last. You see they galloped around the track 7th, beaten, 12, 13 lengths. Voided Speed trailed. But that was a race. Speed just kept on going. We saw a horse come out of there yesterday and win in Sheriff Ronnie. That was a pretty good group. And then you look back, pairing up some 60s there, 3 in a row. I think this horse finished well in a mile at Delaware. Is going to like back to the 2 turns here today at Pimlico. And the barn's got to pick it back up. They've been a little chilly the last 90 days or so.
That's kind of why I didn't have him
yep,
on my
a little
picks.
chilly.
Yep. So fair enough, but I like the Faith. I like the Faith a lot. So you have Storm and Chrome, who I have on top. Hugh McMahon, Thais Life, Justina gets a chance on a Hugh McMahon mount. So this will be interesting. Now inheriting the rail. How do you think that plays into the effect of Storm and Chrome today?
I think shorter field here. This one has got enough speed to be on or near the lead. It's shown a lot of heart the last, really last time out. You see that steady bid 3 deep game, overcame some adversity. Third route in a row. The conditioning is there. It should be a player a long way in here.
Keith Fusel, 7524 in race number 6. Now let's go ahead to race number 7. This is a claiming 16 event, which have never won 2, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. For the 3-year-olds and up, you go on the number 1. Bold Honor for Annette Eubanks gets Angel Cruz in the saddle, and I believe is your value play of the day.
It's a value play. You got me here. You got a single in here in your pick 6.
I do.
That's bold. Judy's Army, and I think will be a player, no doubt. Speed towards the inside. You talked about the off track, being able to handle that. Obviously going for a barn that wins on its home track here with Judy's Omer. But Bold Honor intrigues me. Yeah, it looks like claimed off of a negative drop. We'll call my Annette Eubanks, Rising Sun, and even Annette Eubanks the last couple months. This barn's been rolling quite along. Pretty good. Good ROI. Teaming up with Rising Sun, it works, right? It's worked in the past. It's been steady. So I see that comment called 6-7 wide upper. No real run. We got maybe a little bit more experienced rider today. I think this one can get position. They jump up a little bit in class and maybe stalk in pounce here from the road. Got to get a good break. Got to get position into the turn. But you're going to give me 15. I mean, this horse could go away at a big price. 15-1. I'll take it here on Bold Honor.
Keith Fusel giving us some good value plays throughout the weekend, and he just gave you another one. It's been 15-1 has been your magic morning line number so far.
That's our plan. Yesterday, Captain Cardo, he didn't pick it up at all. I mean, he was back there under a ride. It just never fired. But hey, we come back, and that's what we're looking for. A horse that you can throw in your exactas, tries, and supers and blow things up. And what's interesting, you've got a 9-5 morning line favorite in Disputed Claim. I think this horse will take a lot of play. What bothers me is just a slight bump up in class off of a gaudy number off the 75. This horse ran off the screen over a Laurel. A real quick bid in between horses, dominated. Just a little bit leery. We'll see if this one, gets claimed again, Disputed Claim. You see if they go back to prior connection. I don't know. A couple horses come out of there to win. Looks to me a little bit too good. I'm talking about the 8. Yeah, the 8. And you don't have this one on the ticket. Talk about Federal Fence, because I think this one, it's been a while going short. Has it ever gone 6? No. But, hey, the right kind of rider, back with Boyce, and I don't really trust anybody in here a whole lot on the front end. She's going to draft in and settle. I think this one brings a run through that final quarter mile.
Just especially coming, you have this one coming off of that outside post, which isn't, it's fine going 6 furlongs here today. So it's that way it sets up well. Just taking a look at this one. This one, yes, this one has had a break, but this one's been in training. 4 scratches since June 23rd, 2 canceled races, and then 2 MTO scratches with space throughout the whole of summer. So really came back in June. You have to give this one an excuse. This one, the only thing I don't love that this one historically and just habitually has not been great off of the layoff. That's why I've just been a little weary about this one. But if you have Forrest, and Forrest has had the most success with this horse as
exactly
well.
Right.
That's exactly the point. So if you're going to have anybody make that attempt of going shorter, you absolutely have the right rider. So just as you mentioned, it's not a ton of speed, but you can't really trust any of the speed here in this race, so you might as well.
You got a bunch of horses here that like to chase and flatten.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a horse that ran off last time in Disputed Claim. Just looks a little too obvious for me. May just go ahead and jump up, and maybe if it does at a short price, fine. But I'm looking at Federal Fence, the sustainable run, and maybe even Irish Warlock for a barn. You look at recent first claims, 23%, 262 going turf to dirt. Checked at the break, 2 back on the main track. Maybe a little bit too early of a move, too wide. Another one, if he takes the rating, can bring a finish and get past late. So you singled the 2. Man, more power.
Gutsy. I know.
If you get that one home, but you got the right kind of trainer that wins a lot. He
I've
wins
been
in
waiting
bunches.
for this one to run on an off track, so I've jumped on it.
Yep.
But as you mentioned, with a couple of these speed, it's something you mentioned also when talking about Forrest. In this kind of race, it's going to be a rider that just times that correctly, and I think you see that a bit in Forrest Boyce. But let's carry on
'Kay.
as you go 1-9-5-2 to the 8th race in the Sensible Lady Turf Dash Stakes. Now, of course, taken off of the turf 5 furlongs, nonetheless, scratching the 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 12. Keith, you have the number 10 on top.
Yeah.
On the outside, and Sassy Beast for Angel Rodriguez. Georgie Ruiz attracts the ride of Georgie Ruiz, which I found very, very interesting.
Pulled that upset of Colonial on the turf. Gutsy late to hold on by 3 parts of a length. Prior to that, Mountaineer, that race I don't like. There's a race down at Evangeline that works for me. You see that comment? I like that. Vide and then a rebid and a clear move.
Got it.
I like the positioning just outside the speeds today. This one has enough to stay close. It's being a horse like Sweet Temperament. It's got some good races on the page. Going for a little bit of a price because I do think, she'll be 3rd or 4th choice when it's all said and done in here. So looking for that value. Again, with a capable rider to rate and move into it. Because I think the flow is going to be honest. And there's some question marks who I think is going to be the favorite. Self-isolation, going to take a lot of money in here for Jacobson. But only 1 for 12 with runners switching off Lasix in the last year or so.
Okay.
And the last 3 numbers without Lasix for this one, Byers, 40, 59, and 62. Maybe I'm just reaching here a little bit because the last race was really good. But this horse has been entering some races in scratch, if I'm not mistaken,
Correct.
over the last month. Has had a chance to go. I'm a little bit leery. I mean, if she brings anything close to the last race, she's going to gallop. But I'll take some value in there with the 10. Whiskey and Rye is going to make them work up top for Jerry Robb, no
Absolutely.
doubt about
I
it.
love this one on the off track as well. It's a jump up, it's a step up, but I liked what I saw in that Wet Fast last time out. So I think they're just that's kind of what carried them into this race as well. You have some encouraging works leading up into this. You have several bullet works, including that last bullet work. So especially going 5 furlongs here today, zip and go.
Yeah, I mean, she can battle up top, and I know that was only a 4-horse field at Delaware last time over the Wet Fast track, but you got My Beautiful Belle, came back to win the Regret. Right there behind her, on the boss of me, 3rd in the skip ad. So you're keying up against the right kind is Whiskey and Rye.
And there we have it. Keith Fussell 10-5-7-3, giving you some good value here in that off-the-track effort here today. Now let's go ahead into race number 9, the Polynesian, which is a dirt race that's meant to be mile and 16th. Let's just get into it. You have Be Better on top. Let's take a look at that effort in the disputed testimony for Brittany Russell and Sheldon Russell.
Yeah, he was okay before, and he's getting really
He
good
was.
right now in the
Yes.
barn of Brittany Russell for Rapoli Stable. So do we have video?
We do.
We do?
Waiting on the video.
Come on, video. But anyhow, Be Better. We'll talk about that race. July 29th. It was kind of an inside speed day, as I have it marked down. Does ride the better part of the racetrack. So that's that's good. Okay, was able to kind of ride that better part, but works outside through the lane and into a slower pace. So I thought these other ones might just kind of keep on going. They kind of like the top 2 get away a touch, but man, determined, ever so determined is Be Better. Look at this run, shifts out 5 wide, and responds to this firm encouragement here. The last 3/16 of a mile is going to get up, go clear over Nimitz class, and we know how good that one is right there. Our Nation on Parade, another good one. It's been around here, the Maryland bred for Jamie Ness. So yeah, I think this one, a shorter field, will be a few lengths further back. I don't think you're going to see him close early to the likes of Our Nation on Parade and Zabra Cadabra. We'll see if Uno Hogue tries to go. I think this one has the ability to come from further off of it, but just sustaining, proven off of Lasix as well, riding a high right now with Be Better. But Zabra Cadabra, I like your top selection a lot as well. These two, they were really tough for me to separate. Just a little bit more recency and seasoning here for Be Better.
And I take it the opposite approach. Now, normally I would go with a type like Be Better, but especially when we have a shorter field like this, things have to be packed and condensed up front there. I kind of take it with, I think this one is going to be pushed up a little bit further along the field, like in those races back in December and January. Of course, you've got Gary Capuano, who's off the layoff. You can't, to me, I see that immediately, and I say, routing, let's go.
Yeah, this horse is fresh and just can adapt to any kind of pace situation whatsoever. So he brings his A game, his top. I mean, I've looked at some other things. He might
Yep.
be just a little bit better than be better, but it's going to be a good little horse race here in the Polynesian.
A couple of here in the
No
Polynesian.
doubt.
Keith Fusel with Be Better, 5-4-3 after that. Zabracadabra and Our Nation on parade. Race number 10, our nightcap of the day, of the weekend, actually, is a maiden claiming 12-5, 6 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 2-year-old filly. Scratch in the number 4, Brown Sugar Babe. You have the number 7 on top, Eden's Gigi from Brittany Russell and at JVN Toledo coming back for clearly what's probably going to be a better effort second time out.
I would think. Took a lot of play, as our horses do, down at Colonia. Just didn't fire in that 8-horse field. Made the middle move and then stopped. I don't know, maybe something just fried her on the way down at the track. I don't know. Just, I got to think she got a better race. They're going to drop here. This attack mode has worked time and time again for the barn. So I think it's good positioning off of some speed that's got to stretch out here. Eden's GG for me in the nightcap. Kissed by an Angel, first-time starter. It's a little bit of a distance angle on that bottom side, but it might bode well here against some horses that look like 6 furlongs might even be a touch too much to run into.
Correct.
Phil Capuano's done very, very well with the first-time starters in his young career. The firster, look at the two. Cara in the City, you've got this one fourth. Looking at the mare, second in debut, 2 for 16 overall, but with firsters, 2 for 5. For the first time out, and with a second in there. So that bodes well if you like the breeding standpoint there. Win early for Cara in the City. And the one, your top selection, I'll let you talk about that one. Ran pretty good over at the Big T.
Yeah, with a couple of these, I kind of use that Timonium same type of situation where Farrier will run these first-time starters on a bull ring, like at Charlestown, and then he'll run them second time out at Laurel. And that seems to be a secret formula with Farrier. So especially with this one, doing that 2-turn situation already, it's just going to make things that much easier going around one turn. Just really got the solid bottom on it. I think this one will be fine if we're having a little bit of drizzle throughout the day, if we still have an off track by then. But Farrier, especially as of late, has been kind of ticking it up in these second time starters.
Yeah, and held on quite well. You see the short comment, and they're rank at the half, a little trouble in there, and then steadied as the winter kind of went on. So.
Yep.
But still showed some heart to the wire. That experience should help the chances, no doubt, of rent-free.
And there we have it, 7-6-1-2 for our last day here on Sunday of this weekend for the stakes, for the racing action here at Old Hilltop. We still have 2 more weekends left of it, but let's go and dig a little deeper in the lightning round into your value play of the day. Hard to find a best bet of the day. So
it was really difficult.
Yep, which is nobody's going to suss you out on that. So we have your value play, another 15-1. In bold honor, this one is with Annette Eubanks and Angel Cruz.
Obviously, the 2-back try at Belmont, the maiden score really, really works. Was able to sit off of it, drew off. Questionable drop, a claim, but claim for a barn that doesn't claim much. I think it's been 4 horses, if I looked right, over the last 3 years or so. There's something they liked. Going to take a shot here. And Rising Sun and Annette Eubanks, when they team up, they score, and they're usually a profitable angle together.
Now, we have stakes action here today, but let's discuss what's going on next weekend. We have a slew of stakes. We had the Summer Sizzler Stakes, but now they're September. They're not Sizzler Stakes, but they're September Stakes. So we have some more September Stakes coming in on next Saturday. Let's start off and chat about the Ben's Cat. We have Jackson. So just talking about some of the nominees, entries I do believe come out today for Saturday's card. So stay tuned on that this afternoon for the overnights. But let's go backwards to forwards, and not an excitement, but just in a couple of different angles. Maryland Bred Stakes and the Ben's Cat. We have Jackson Traveler, Spun Glass Witty, and the 2020 Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint runner-up Cohen. And then some dirt horses that were also nominated. Doppelganger, Craig, wonder where Craig is. Johnny Z from Albany could be interesting if they decide to go that way with him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jackson Traveler, he's been a versatile type of horse. So we'll see who kind of, hopefully we'll have a big field, I would think, hopefully for the Ben's Cat. Yeah.
And there we have in the Shine again, we have Intrepid Daydream, third in the 1 mile Caesar's Wish on the 15th at Laurel. Moody Woman, a favorite of yours, third in the Barbara Fritchie earlier in February. But sixth, the Hard Way, was also third in the Weber City Miss back in April.
Out of those three, you're gonna give me Intrepid Daydream.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yep. In the weather vein, Alva Star, winner of the Prioress at Saratoga, multiple stakes place, awesome pick. Our Dear Peggy, winner Blind Spot in 2022. Stakes winner Late Frost, most recently third in that 7 furlong Charlestown Oaks. And Opus 42. And then you also have stakes winner Santa Fe Gold, Tappin' Josie, and Talk to the Judge. So amongst those, a pretty decent nomination turnout for the weather vein. And then All Along, 25 nominees, including the big Dreyfus top 3 finishers at Laurel, but also includes Sparkle Blue, the Atomic Blonde, Community Adjusted, who also ran over here during the summer as well, over on the Laurel lawn. Bipartisanship and Coconut Cake, Spearling Biag, beaten in the search, just beaten by a neck in the searching at Laurel. Gold Digging Broad, promoted winner off the DQ in the All Brandy. And then, of course, we have the BWI Turf Cup, now at grade 3 status, and you have Big Everest, who is a 3-time stakes winner, beaten as the favorite in his last start, but a lot going on without all these stakes action here for next Saturday.
No doubt. Save up. You're gonna need it with all that action. No doubt. Eleanor Albert, our stakes coordinator, she's been awfully busy too. It sounds. Yeah.
Busy throughout summer and fall here. Coming into fall, it's not fall yet here over at Maryland, but we will give it to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches. Best of luck here on the Sunday stakes action.
You got it. Good luck and go Ravens. There you go.